The aesthetic industry is entering a period of correction. Increased competition from unqualified and undertrained injectors has created pricing pressure and, in some markets, a visible shift in patient spending patterns. At first glance, this may appear as a threat to established clinics. In reality, it is an inflection point, and for well-positioned medical practices, an opportunity. Whenever a sector becomes saturated with low-cost providers, two things happen simultaneously. Price competition increases at the lower end, and patient awareness eventually rises at the higher end. Complications, inconsistent outcomes, and overtreated faces naturally push the market toward greater discernment. This is not the decline of aesthetic medicine, it is its maturation. Clinics that wish to thrive in this environment must elevate rather than compete. Competing on price against unqualified injectors is a race to the bottom. Competing on medical authority, safety protocols, anatomical expertise, regenerative strategies, and long-term treatment planning is a completely different arena. Preparation begins with structure, clear medical positioning, transparent credentials, before and after documentation rooted in natural outcomes, strong patient education that explains the difference between placement and understanding, between injecting and diagnosing. The future belongs to clinics that speak as medical authorities, not as service providers. The shift in income patterns that some clinics are beginning to observe is not necessarily a reduction in demand. It is redistribution. Patients may experiment with lower-cost options, but the corrective market is growing. Dissolution, revision work, structural rebalancing, and full-face harmonization require expertise. Clinics that invest in complication management protocols and advanced corrective strategies are positioning themselves for long-term resilience. Another key preparation strategy is refining consultation standards. In an environment where overfilling and shortcuts are common, patients are increasingly seeking trust. Detailed facial assessment, anatomical mapping, long-term planning, and realistic expectation setting distinguish professional care from transactional treatment. Brand perception also becomes critical. Luxury is not decor alone. Luxury in aesthetic medicine is safety, discernment, restraint, and precision. Clinics that communicate calm authority rather than promotional urgency will attract a more stable, higher-value patient base. Finally, internal standards must rise. Continuous education, collaboration with experienced plastic surgeons, evidence-based protocols, and regenerative approaches strengthen clinical credibility. When standards are high, reputation compounds. Industry fluctuations are not new. Every growing sector experiences a phase of dilution before regulation and patient education recalibrate the market. Clinics that focus on excellence, medical integrity, and long-term outcomes will not be weakened by this shift. They will be clarified by it. The response is not fear. It is elevation.